growing author platforms. And I know that that is a pain point to every author on the planet. So even the ones that think they have or they do have huge followings, everybody seems to have the same vulnerability hangovers and indecisiveness about what we want to post about or how we want to share our platform and grow our digital presence. So I'm so excited that we can have this conversation. It will be recorded on YouTube, so you don't have to stress if you miss anything. Christy seems to talk really fast. I reminded her to talk slow. And we will also have a way for you to connect with Christy in the future if you want to still sit work with her outside of this or pick her brain anymore. So with that being said, I'm going to hand this over to Christy. This is her hour. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Christy can try to address them as she's going through the presentation. If it's something that's kind of outside this presentation, we will follow up in an email with our answers or whatever we have to figure out or an opportunity to connect further. So don't be hesitant to use that chat. We like whenever that continues to have people talking in it so that helps us understand what we need to be providing, what information we need to be providing, or if I need to have different types of presenters come in and bring information outside of Christie's wheelhouse. So that being said, I will shut up. I'm going to go on mute. If you guys need anything from me, let me know. And otherwise, I'm just here in the background. So, Christy, this is your time. Thank you so much. And I'm going to shut up now.
Thank you, Brooke. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is Beyond the Book with me. Like Brooke said, this is our summer learning series. We'll have 3 sessions. This first one is all about building your author brand. So whether you are currently writing your first book, preparing for publication, if you want to be self-published, traditionally published, or maybe you're dreaming about becoming an author someday and you're just now getting started, I want you to know you are in the right place. When I first started writing my book, this was a while ago, and Brooke is my editor, obviously. And when I started working with aspiring authors, I quickly realized that writing the book was only really part of the journey. The other part, the part that no one really ever really talks about too much, is figuring out how to build an audience, connect with that audience, and share your work in a way that truly feels authentic. And if we're being super honest, that can be extremely overwhelming. Most authors do not start writing because we want to become content creators or social media managers or own a personal brand. We started writing because we have a story to tell. I just saw someone running in the background.
Children chasing cats.
Oh, there we go. Okay. But today's publishing landscape asks us to do both. We can't just be writers now. We have to be a brand. We have to be a content creator in some regard. So the good news is that building an author brand does not mean becoming someone that you are not. If you don't want to dance on TikTok to trending sounds, you don't have to dance on TikTok to trending sounds unless you really want to. And it definitely does not mean turning yourself into a marketing machine. It means simply understanding who you are, what you stand for, who your readers are, and how to create meaningful connections with all of them. So that's really what this series is all about. So we're going to go to the next slide. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. This always feels super awkward to me to talk about myself, so we're going to get this out of the way pretty fast. I'm Christy. I'm a marketer by profession. Writing is my passion, and currently working on my first novel. My background is in building brands and communities, from healthcare sectors to architecture to construction to all over the sphere of industries. I have worked in this field. I spent more than a decade helping organizations connect with people through storytelling, content, social media, fundraising campaigns, mass communication, and brand strategy. And honestly, the reason I'm excited about this series isn't because I'm a marketer, but it's because I'm also sitting in the exact same seat that you guys are. I'm in the very beginning stages of building an author platform. I'm figuring out what content works. I'm learning how to balance writing with showing up online. So this isn't a lecture truly from someone who has everything figured out. It's genuinely a conversation about what's working, what isn't, and how we can build author brands that feel authentic instead of being exhausted by showing up online, which, to be honest, is something that happens all too often. All right. So today we're going to focus on the foundation, your author brand. We'll talk about what an author brand actually is, why readers often buy authors and not just their books, and how brand, content, and marketing all work together. Then we'll spend some time working through a few exercises to help you start defining your own brand and connecting the dots for your future content. Now for this, I do encourage you to write in the chat. If you don't want to write in the chat, make sure you have a pen and pencil handy so you can write down notes when we do go through these exercises because they really will help. And my goal today isn't for you to leave with all the answers. My goal is for you to leave with more clarity than you had when you first walked in. So let's get started. Quick show of hands, and you can put this in the chat or you can raise your hand with the little hand emoji, but this helps me understand who is in the room. So who has published a book? Who is currently writing one? Who currently feels confident about their author brand? And who has ever stared at Instagram and thought, what am I supposed to post? Because whether you're published, querying, self-published, or halfway through chapter 3 of your first draft, the principles that we're going to talk about apply to you in every stage that you are in. All right. Okay, so the biggest myth of author marketing is my book is my brand. And I see this mistake all the time. Authors spend years writing a book and naturally assume that the book itself is a brand. But think about it this way. Taylor Swift is not a brand because of one album. Disney is not a brand because of one movie. So your book is a product, but your brand is what people associate with you. If you disappeared tomorrow, what would you still be known for? That is what your brand is. Okay. So when you think about brands, often people think this means colors, fonts, logos, and aesthetics. And those things genuinely do matter, but they are not the brand. The brand is the feeling. When somebody sees your name pop up on social media, what do they expect? What experience are you going to get? What emotions are attached to your work? And that's your brand. It's your voice, it's your values, it's your personalities, it's your themes, it's your reader experience. People do not remember every post, but they remember how you make them feel. So my brand is not marketing. My brand is helping people feel less overwhelmed by putting themselves out there. So I want to go and look at some of our most recognized author brands on the market today. So let's play a game. I'm going to throw out 4 author names, and in the chat, I want you to write what comes to mind and what feeling you associate with them. Okay? J.K. Rowling. Throw your thoughts in the chat. What comes to mind when you think of J.K. Rowling? I think Harry Potter. I think fantasy. I think magic. I think mystical worlds. What about you guys?
So can I interrupt? Do you want me to talk out loud?
Of course.
I just wanted to point out, and I don't know if you did this intentionally with using her, but Alex posted transphobe, and I think it does bring some conversation to like what we have to be careful about on the internet as well.
Wait, where's the chat? I'm trying to read the chat.
It's probably hard when you're presenting. So do you want me to tell you what people have been saying?
Yeah, I
So
haven't seen anything.
oh, sorry, we've been responding to you.
You have? Okay.
So, I wrote people want to feel seen whenever I think of J.K. Rowling, wizards, kind of like reading under the blankets, nostalgia, because that was something I read as a young person. But
Okay.
Alex put out transphobe, and I was thinking that also is the first thing that people think of because
I
people
see.
feel unsafe with her views.
Yeah.
So like I'm just showing 2 ends of the spectrum.
No, and I think that's also very important. So thank you
Yeah.
for pointing that out. And also I can see the chat now, so thank goodness. Because I thought I was all alone in here, guys.
No, we've been responding to you.
All right, next author, C.S. Lewis. What do we think? Nostalgia, that's a good one. I was just introducing my daughter to Lion Witch in the Wardrobe the other day. That's why I threw him in here. Love. Well, we're on a fantasy kick. George R. R. Martin. When I think of George R. R. Martin, I generally think of someone who takes his time writing. He does not rush his books, and I think there's something to be said about that. All right, last one. This is a personal favorite because I'm a sap, Nicholas Sparks. Cheesy. Beard. Was that for George R. R. Martin? So the point of this little exercise, guys, was not to like really nail down these brands, but the fact that something came to mind immediately for each person. That's branding, good or bad. That is branding. Nobody stopped and listed every book those authors have ever written. They talked about how those authors made them feel. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with this. Uptight. Okay. All right. We'll move on to why readers buy books. And I had to throw a cat in there because we're cat obsessed in this household. All right, books create readers, brands create fans. This is probably one of the most important slides of the day. Readers do not buy books, they buy trust. Think about your favorite author. And if you want to throw your favorite author in the chat so we can all check him out, go for it. When that author announces a new book, do you read the synopsis first or do you immediately think, take my money, I want to read that book because I know I'm probably going to love it no matter what? At that point, most of us usually buy because we trust the experience. We trust the author to make us laugh, cry, escape something, learn, or feel something super meaningful. So readers who connect with an author, like in this slide, they buy the book, they join the newsletter, they follow on social media, they attend events, they recommend books to friends. And this is something that is very different from other buyers' journeys, which is something we're going to talk about on the next slide. When you are into like a clothing brand, you may love that brand for the product that they give you, but you're not solely investing it for the person making that product. Some of them are. Some brands out there are learning that their CEO and the people behind the brand are the ones that are selling the product, but not all have learned it. When it comes to books, it's always the author that will sell it. So let's move on to the reader's journey. In marketing, this is typically called the buyer's journey. With books, things go a bit differently. Books are one of the few products people buy for the experience, but return for the creator. With most products, the buying journey looks like this. You need, if you're in clothing, you have a need, you search the need, you buy the need, you wear the need. The customer might love a sweater from a brand, but they're often shopping for the item itself. With skincare, it's the same thing. You have a problem, you research your problem, you buy the product to solve the problem, and then you use the product. People may become loyal to a brand, but the purchase is usually driven by a specific need. I need foundation, I need mascara, I need skincare, I need sunscreen. Books are very different. The journey is way more emotional. Most authors focus in this part right here, buy your book. That's where they start. That's where they believe your marketing starts, but it's not. It starts way up here. Readers start with discovery, a social media post, a newsletter, a podcast interview, a recommendation from a friend. Your content creates awareness, and that's why it's so important. Your brand creates trust, and the book becomes the result. All right. Sorry, Burke, I'm reading all of your favorite authors.
You're fine. I was just dropping those for reference for other people. They're not my favorite authors, but they're people that have good online communities to look at. So Alex Astor on TikTok has built quite a following. Geneva Rose, I don't remember what social media platforms, but I do know she has a Facebook group. Jen Hatmaker and Tyler Merritt are all over all different platforms. I know Jen Hatmaker did some online communities with her previous publishers, but I also know that Tyler Merritt does a lot of like ally work on Instagram and creates a lot of like thought pieces. So I just wanted to drop those for people to reference if they're looking for like more inspiration.
Very cool. All right. Brand versus content versus marketing. This is where people tend to get confused. People tell me I need help with marketing, but most of the time they actually don't. For the most part, genuinely, people get what needs to go into marketing. They just need the strategy behind it. And we will actually talk about that in the next session. But first, people need to understand their brand. If your brand is cozy fantasy, your content should feel that way. Dark, saturated colors, fires, fairy lights, you get it. If you accomplish this, marketing becomes easier because people immediately understand who you are. And we're going to go through a couple exercises. I don't think it's the next slide, but it's coming up. Okay. Why most authors feel stuck. And this is because they're creating content before defining their brand. And this is also what creates inconsistency because you shift too much. Who here has open Instagram and immediately closed it because you did not know what to post? Or you knew what to post, but you got stuck on a caption? I feel like it's all of us. At some point, all of us knew that we needed to post something and just didn't know where to start. The problem usually isn't content. The problem is almost always clarity. So when you know who you are, who you're speaking to, and what you want to be known for, content becomes much easier. And that's exactly what we are about to work on. Stuck and afraid. Get it? I totally get it. That fear usually comes from uncertainty, though. So we're going to help you guys get a little more certain about your brands. So exercise number 1, we're going to take 5 minutes to do this. So you can take your time. I want you to imagine someone has never read your book. They've never heard of you. They stumble across your social media profile. Tell me why they should follow. Not buy your book, not join your newsletter, just follow you. What value are you bringing into this person's life? And I want you to write it down. You can throw it in the chat if you want. I'm going to ask some people to throw it in the chat later, which would be great if you wanted to. But just take 5 minutes to really think about this. Why should people follow you?
Do you want us to drop it in the chat or just journal?
For now, just journal. The next slide will be like a little group discussion if people want to share. But for now, just really think about it. Thank you for the comment, Des. He said you have a thought relevant to their everyday life that resonates with them, and that's exactly it. That's the crux of it all is connection. So it's finding a way to connect with the people you are trying to resonate with. And that's comes with first defining who are those people. All right, we have about a minute and 21 seconds left, but I'm going to cut it, but you guys keep thinking about this because the next slide, I really want us all to discuss. How do I go to that? What really surprised you about thinking about this question? Was it hard? Did anyone realize that they were relying entirely on their book? I want readers to feel seen in the struggles I have, which are more relatable than not. That's good. Ideas are. They should follow me for observations that may seem obvious but are not. Ideas that are slightly blurred, seen through a new lens. So perspective change. That's awesome. I feel like Yvonne, I think we'd get along.
Yvonne's always at silent writing sprints, so come join if you want to get more of what she's talking about, or just buy her books.
You know what? If anyone's published a book, drop your link. No, but this is awesome. And it's like really at the core of it all is connection. Like I was saying to Dus's comment earlier, but in order to connect, you have to know exactly who you're connecting with. And from what I can tell, this is something that you've all really thought about because you all seem to have very different niches. My book, thank you, Alex. Field notes for an imaginary mythology. Nice. All right, y'all. Let's move on. All right, next exercise. This is the 3 words exercise. Imagine it is 6 months from now. Someone has followed your content regularly. They tell a friend about you. What are 3 words you hope they use? Do not overthink this. I want your gut reactions. And if you want to throw them in the chat, I'd be eternally grateful. What are the 3 words you want to be described for or as? Brooke, I would describe you as brave. These are good, guys. So, as you're thinking about these words and you're throwing them in the chat, I want you to think, are those words reflected in your content today? Are these just hopes that someone will leave and think these things of you, or is your content actually reflecting this? Many people discover a disconnect between how they want to be perceived and what they're actually posting. So does anyone think that their content is currently reflecting those 3 words? And why not? And again, you guys can throw in the chat or you can just journal and think about it. We're going to sit on this for a few minutes because I really think it's important for you to dissect whether or not those words are resonating with your people. Why do you want to rethink your words, Brooke? Take more time. Yep. Yet. That's the word. Das yet. For me personally, I notice my words or how I want to be reflected because it's hard to sum it up in 3 words. Obviously, we're human beings. We are way more than just 3 words. But I've noticed I am less confident about my posts whenever I am like posting out of urgency and I'm not really thinking about it. But again, like when it comes to content creation and strategy behind your content, that's something we'll talk about in the next session. But when you are in a pinch and you're thinking, I haven't posted all week, which that happens to all of us. We all have goals that we want to post a whole bunch, but life happens and that doesn't always work out that way. And that's absolutely okay. The last thing you want to do is post outside your brand or post in a way that's not you or follow a trend just because it's an easy thing to post when it's not really representative of who you are. All right. Your brand starter statement. Yay. This is not your forever brand starter statement. It's just a starting point. Okay. So, for example, I help fancy readers feel wonder through immersive storytelling. I help busy moms feel seen through honest stories and humor. The goal is to create a simple sentence that gives you direction. And again, we're going to take a few minutes on this. If you want to throw it in the chat, go for it. If you want to keep it personal, that's also fine. My personal one is I help authors and creatives build brands that feel like them so they can connect with the people that they're meant to reach. So you can change this up however you need to, but the crux of it is I help blank feel this by doing this. Okay? Take a few minutes, friends. Love that, Brooke. That's awesome, Alex. All right, guys, I'm gonna give it one more minute if anyone else wants to share before we move on to the next slide. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to Yvonne's books. Ooh, nice website. That's actually something we're going to talk about in a couple slides. All right, guys. Feel free to keep dropping those in the chat. We're going to move to the next one because I have another little thing I'd like you to do. I want us to all meet each other in this room because one of the best parts of events like this is realizing that other people are honestly wrestling with the same questions that we are. So I'd love to invite anyone who wants to share a little bit about themselves and their work. You can throw it in the chat or you can unmute yourselves. I would love to know your name, what you are writing, who are you writing it for, and the feeling you want people to walk away with. And I'll answer the question first. Hi, my name is Christy. I am currently writing a fantasy slash dystopian inspired novel for readers who love hidden truths, rebellion, and found family. And I want readers to finish this book questioning everything they've ever been told, which is a very scary thing to want. And hopefully I can accomplish it. Yvonne, it looks like you have quite a few books out right now. Are you currently working on one? Book 3 of the trilogy. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share what they're currently working on?
I was going to post in the chat, but I can always do it verbally.
Right.
Hi, Alex Spinardi. I'm currently working on a literary slash magic realism novel, and with a goal of aligning with my ideas of presenting the ordinary in extraordinary ways.
Very cool. What are some of your inspirations behind it?
A lot of magic realism, Isabel Allende, Italo Calvino, bit of Salman Rushdie,
Very cool.
and then also certain literary traditions, Robertson Davies or Ali Smith.
Very cool. What are you like? What process are you in with your book right now?
This one is second draft, I guess.
Okay.
Although mostly a complete tear down of the first one, so might as well be a first draft.
I feel like that's recently what I just did. I had like 15 chapters written, and I'm like, I think this will be so much better from this angle instead. Delete everything, start over. It happens. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. Thank you for sharing and speaking up. Christina, you're writing romance, women's fiction, real women. I want them to walk away knowing their feelings and pains are not something they have to go through alone. The family can be found where you might not expect it. Love that. I love reading these descriptions because it's obvious that's pulled from real life in some sense and real life experiences. And I think that's really beautiful. Hi, Erin. I think you submitted a question, which I'm actually going to answer in the next slide. You're putting finishing touches on your first book that comes out in September. Yay. I write women's fiction. I've started my second book. Hope that readers walk away with a smile, feel lost inspiration from reading my first book. Can you drop your link to your book? Oh, wait, no. First book comes out in September. You're starting your second book. Okay. Well, when it comes out in September, what is it, June right now? July, August, September. We will be having we will want that link and drop your Substack. That's a great idea, Brooke. If everyone wants to drop their Substack, go for that. Congratulations, Aaron. That's incredible. All right. Hi, Yvonne. Nerdy, spicy romance. Love it. With marginalized characters. I want readers to feel seen and adored and laugh their ass off along the way. Oh, Yvonne, I have to look at your books. The correct answer, Aaron. All right, guys. We'll move on to the next one, but I would love if you guys continue writing in this chat and let us know what you guys are working on. Okay, questions from the room. Aaron, I believe you submitted this question. And Yvonne's actually a great example of this. Question was, do you suggest a website for new authors with only one book published? Our short answer is yes, but keep it simple. One of the biggest misconceptions authors have is that they need a huge professionally designed website before they're actually ready. You don't. Your website isn't there to impress people. It's there to help them find information about you. Think of social media as rented land and think of your website as owned land. Your brand can be all over it. You can be all over it, but you can also keep it very, very simple. For example, I went to Yvonne's website. The first homepage is all of her books with the published date for the next book. And I haven't clicked any other links, but it looked like it's about 4 pages, which is very, very easy. Readers, agents, event organizers, podcast hosts, and media contacts will often look for your website before they reach out. Even with one book, have a professional online presence builds credibility. So the good news is that website does not have to be complicated. 4 pages is plenty when you're starting out. You can even do free versions on Wix or even Canva. If someone discovers you on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, or at an event, your website gives them one place else to go to find you. The goal is not to create a masterpiece. The goal is to just create a clear path for readers to learn about you and your work. And if you're working on a limited time or budget, prioritize building an email list first. A newsletter is one of the few marketing assets you actually truly own. So ideally, your website and newsletter will eventually work together, and the website attracts readers. The newsletter helps them stay connected to you over time. So Aaron, if you want to talk more about this, just shoot me an email and I'm more than happy to send you more tips. Okay. All right. All right. So let's look ahead to what's next. So today wasn't about creating your perfect brand. It was just about getting a little bit more clarity on who you are. You're welcome. A little bit more clarity on who you are, because when you start to understand who you are and what you want to be known for, everything else genuinely does become easier. Posting becomes easier. You get less exhausted. Burnout happens way less frequently because you're staying true to who you are. And also your reader relationships become a lot stronger. So next session, we're going to talk about everything we talked about today and turning it into usable content. So there will be no more staring at Instagram, wondering what to post, no more fear, no more second guessing. You will be confident in what you are doing. However, hold on. I'm going to turn this over to Brooke for 1 second. Okay. So we have 2 sessions coming up. I did talk fast. Oh my God, it's 12:40. I get nervous, guys. I'm sorry. I talked way faster than I thought I would. I timed this too. My toddler, she was captivated for the whole hour. Okay.
I feel like you did a great. Oh gosh.
You're echoing a little bit.
A little bit. I feel like you did a great, you had great pacing.
Really? Okay, thank you. I was getting out of breath. You know, when you get nervous and your heart starts pounding and you can't like breathe, that's what was happening. Anyhow, we have 2 more sessions coming up, one in July, one in August. Like we said, the next session is all about what to post, how to strategize for, we're mainly gonna be talking about TikTok and Instagram, but that kind of leads over to Facebook as well. And kind of just taking the guesswork out of it, how to create a content calendar that works for you, what to listen to with the algorithm, because algorithm's changing constantly and it's not as complicated as I think a lot of marketers out there like to make it sound. So we'll go over all that. Session 3 will be all about Substack, because as writers and aspiring authors or current authors, Substack is becoming wildly popular. and much needed. But consistency is extremely important with this app. So yeah, thank you everyone. I'm gonna turn this over to Brooke, but if you guys have any questions for me, my email, I think I went past it, is right there if you guys want to take a picture of it, or just register and message me. I think my email's in the registration link somewhere anyway. But if you guys have any follow-up questions, I'm here for you. I will also put this all together in a follow-up email so you guys have this presentation and have this information. So if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to throw it in the chat or turn off your mute button. Other than that, Brooke, it's all yours.
I was gonna say we can give people some space if they have any questions or something that they want to talk about. Erin, thanks for dropping your Substack. If you guys all want to drop your Substack or whatever your mailing list is or social media that you want to promote, go for it. I also dropped into the chat our link for the July and August sessions. I also dropped in the chat a link for silent writing sprints this Thursday at 9 a.m. They are every Thursday in the summer at 9 a.m. In the fall, we usually add in a Friday session as well. We've also added a night session at 9 p.m. next Monday. I can drop that into that if you guys would like that.
I'll be in bed, but I'll try.
I know it's easy to commit to. It's hard to show up at, and that's totally fine. You can always register and not show up. That's totally fine. Our silent writing sprints don't have a cap, so you're not taking somebody's space if you register and can't come. I'm going to put that into the chat right now. Does anybody have any questions for Christie or last thoughts that they would like to share or questions for the rest of the group? If you guys want to crowdsource and use the hive mentality, we can do that as well. But this time is yours for about 18 more minutes, unless we have nothing to say.
Or you can just use 18 minutes to have your silent writing sprint.
I was going to say, you can use the last 18 minutes to go post something, draft something, write something, whatever you need to do.
I'm stalking all of you guys on Substack right now.
Christina, can you tell us what you meant earlier in the chat when you said I meet authors almost weekly? Something not many books that people are doing, giving me something different as a reader and an author. I'm curious about that. Might have stepped away from our computer or not heard me. Erin, you have to go to your job. One day you won't have to do that anymore. But for now, we understand.
Thank you so much, Erin, for joining.
This has been a great session. If you guys get off this call and have anything that you wish that you had asked Christie or asked the group, feel free to send her an email or feel free to make a note to bring it up in the July session if you would like to engage the class. I really, really appreciate you guys coming to these. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this series because I do think that social media and in creating a digital presence is one of the hardest parts of being an author other than finishing a book. So I really appreciate everybody coming in here to learn together because I was just with everybody else learning everything and taking notes in the background for myself. So I love that we've created this space for people to come and share knowledge with one another. If you guys have any types of sessions that you wish that we would host or specific questions you want us to answer that maybe fall outside of this series, I would love to hear that as well. You guys can always email me. I'm always looking for more presenters or topics that we need to host storm sessions about. So if you know somebody that would be a good expert to bring in, I'm happy to connect with them. But I am always all ears for whatever feedback you guys have to make the Hive Collective a better space for writers. That's why we do this, is because it's your space just as much as it is ours. So that all being said, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat or anybody coming off mute. So I will let everybody go, take back these last 15 minutes of their day, maybe get one small productive task done with that time, or just go sip some coffee and absorb all of the information that Christie threw at us. Yes, Yvonne, this was great. So thank you guys all for coming. You are welcome to hop off. I will stay on for the next 15 minutes as kind of just some virtual office hour type thing, but you guys are welcome to hop off as you finish up and move on to the rest of your day. And thank you all for joining.
Thank you. And thank you, Christy.
Thank you. How do I stop sharing? Okay.
As this meeting has gone on and I've told children like, hey, I'm going to be offline for an hour, they've decided to create a lemonade stand. So that's what's on the
I
other
saw
side.
you like talking to them behind you. I'm like, what is going on?
They're like standing over it. They were, oh, I need to stop streaming to YouTube. Hold on. How do I do this?